Okay, so this is just going to be a quick demo on UV unwrapping, and I'm just going to be doing it on one of your rocks here. The first thing I'm going to do though is just get rid of these bottom faces because um, this particular set of rocks, they're going to be sitting on the ground for the most part, so um, we can go ahead and get rid of those faces. And the other thing that I'm going to do is select this bottom edge loop here and flatten it out. And that will just make it easier to place in the game world. But now, if we go here to the UV editor, you can see what the UVs look like, which is kind of a mess, but I'm guessing that you modeled this from a cube because this is your typical cube UV layout here. Well, with some exceptions, obviously, from where you edited it. But what we basically want to do is start from scratch. Okay, with this, you can see that there are places where the UVs are split. If you select these edges, for example, you can see this edge exists here and it also exists here, which means that there is a split in the UVs. But we want them to all be combined to begin with, so that way we can define where we want those splits to be ourselves instead of it being done automatically for us. So what we're going to do is go to UV planar projection. We're going to click on the options here. Well, you don't need to really click on the options. Like projecting from any of the axes will actually work just fine. I like to go with the camera one just because I think it's more fun, but you can do whatever. So just, oh, right, I need to be in object mode first, and then let's do that again. And so now we have this planar projection, and you can see that it looks pretty much like this object right over here, stretched out a little bit or whatever, but yeah, that's what we want to begin with. And then what we want to do is go in and define where we want the splits in the UV to be. Now the places where it's most important are places like this and this crevice here, where it's going to be harder for it's going to be harder to make that area flat, particularly if those UVs are connected to too much. So I'll select the edge along there, and then maybe down here. The idea is to kind of split it up with as few, make as few seams as possible while making it still easy for for Maya to flatten things out. So the other thing that will be kind of difficult for it is this through here. Yeah, I might go in and split this edge as well. And then, let's see, where do I want to take this? I'm thinking probably something like this, like the rocks, um, making the UVs really pretty isn't that important. It's just um, getting them to be, relatively flat, relatively little distortion. But a little bit of distortion isn't going to be a big deal, just because they're rocks. We're not going to be writing words on them or anything. So I think that will do. Let's go ahead and um, once you have the edges selected that where you want the splits to be, you use this tool right here. Separate the UVs along the selected edges. Normally this tool is hidden in the shelf. You just need to expand this section, then you can click on that. And then hopefully that worked. It doesn't show anything happening right here to begin with. So what you need to do is go into object mode or select everything in some other manner, and then go to the UV editor under polygons, and then unfold, and that will unfold all of your islands for you and kind of do it in a way that it tries to minimize the distortion. Let's see, so we can select the shells, and you can see there's this one here, which is kind of big. Maybe I could have split that up a little bit better, but then there's this chunk and then this chunk, and then I can move these chunks around to make them, well, just a little, come on. You can move these chunks around a little bit just so that they fit into the space a little better. I might rotate this one around. And there you go. So yeah, hopefully that was clear enough. If you have any other questions, or if you're having trouble with something, let me know. This part of the process is, it isn't really my favorite either. I think everybody struggles with UV unwrapping at least a little bit. So yeah, feel free to shoot me any questions.